Bliss, everyone. Bliss, bliss, bliss. Welcome, welcome, welcome to a brand new weekly reading. Today we are covering May 30th, which is today, all the way to June 6th, which happens to be my birthday. So we have a lot to talk about today, lots of energy to discuss, spirit messages to go over, and lots of vibes to tap into. So if you're watching for the first time, welcome. My name is Rissa Vibes, aka Readings by Rissa. I'm a professional intuitive and intuitive coach, and I help spiritually curious people activate their intuitive gifts and walk their enlightenment journey. So I am here to help you do that today via this free oracle reading for the week. Please let me know where you're tuning in from and how you're feeling today. For all of you who have watched these readings several times before, thank you for joining again. I'm really in a place of excitement because I really want to find some new ways and new strategies to get these readings to more people. So if you have any recommendations or any ideas for me, I would also really, really love that. I'm not the most mystical in the realm of social media or promotion and marketing, but I do feel really called to ask for some assistance in getting these messages out there, whether it means you're sharing them with a few friends every week, or whether it means just sending me a couple strategies that you've thought of that may help me get these messages out there. That would be so awesome. I also know a lot of you already follow tons of different spiritual lists and different spiritual YouTube channels. So if there's any spiritual channels that you feel this reading would be really great fit for, or that my readings would really be awesome to see on that channel, please also let me know, because I would love to do some reaching out and networking with other spiritual channels as well, and some collaborations. So that is kind of where I'm at today in regards of, what I'm really wanting to manifest this week. And I encourage you all to take a little time to settle in, center yourself, and kind of feel into what you want to manifest for yourself this week. So we can all add energy to that for each other, because that's what the benefit of this beautiful Web of Light community is. And I'm so excited to be a part of it and to have had you all show up in every way since we've started these readings almost 3 years ago. I think it's exactly 3 years ago, I think in a couple weeks, which is crazy. So wow, it's amazing. All right, we've got Houston here. Amazing. Hi, Jasmine. Jasmine's here as well, watching from cold, rainy afternoon in NYC. Oh my gosh, I totally understand where you're coming from with that, because I've been in the Midwest for the past several months, and I am not used to not having the sunshine every day. And yesterday and the day before was kind of cold over here and rainy as well. And I'm like, what? This is so new. I'm so used to just celebrating summer and like full throttle in Arizona right now with the sun beaming and everything hot and amazing for the pool time, but it's a little different out here. So yeah, it's an interesting observation and ability for us to really appreciate the spectrum of weather, the spectrum of creation, the spectrum of nature, because it is all beautiful. So yeah, so much love to you on that. All right, everybody. Hey, Leslie, good to see you. Thanks for joining. So this week, of course, we're going to tap into some powerful vibes, but I want to always review last week's cards just so that we can get a nice idea of where we're coming from in the energy. So last week, we pulled the pronghorn animal card, which was the card of action, and really encouraging us to act on what we want and what we are wanting to create in our lives so that we can really embody the changes we need to make. Then we had the Mother Mary card in the middle of the week, which really encouraged us to have more compassion and unconditional love for ourselves and others, and to be that divine feminine nurturer in our lives. And then the end of the week, we had the Serenity and the Miracles card, so a 2-card double whammy, and that was really calling us to step into a place of peace and calm within ourselves so that we may allow the miracles to happen, that radical trust, that radical faith, okay? So we also had a blood moon, which was a full moon, super moon in Sagittarius last Wednesday night. I also did a very specific reading on the moon on my OnlyFans in that day in the middle of the week. So if you didn't check that out and you still feel some of those moon vibes, go over to my OnlyFans page. It's completely free to subscribe and watch that video, because you will find some more understanding, I'm sure, with that. But for the card that we pulled for the blood moon last week, we pulled the initiation card. And it is so spot on, let me tell you, because we are all feeling that initiation. At least I know I am. Let me know how you're initiating and what you've been feeling in your initiations lately. And when we talk about initiations, it really means that we're leveling up, but we've got to kind of go through some stuff to get there. We've got to kind of earn that level up, okay? And so we're going to talk a little bit more about that this week, because we're going to continue on from that energy as we integrate the energy of the blood moon and allow for that initiation to really fully sink in. And so that's why I titled this weekly reading Graduation, because I think it's pretty ironic that so many people across the globe are graduating from high school or college right now, right? This is graduation season, but we're also seeing it in the spiritual realm and in the energetics of this experience, that we are all being initiated and graduated into new levels of experience, into a new earth experience, into a new livelihood or dream or path or relationship, whatever it is. So this is what we're going to dive into today. So I hope you're all excited for it. I know I am. And yes, I do have Chad to keep me warm. Yes. It's so great. Jasmine says, Rissa, can you give a reminder on where you're posting your readings on current events? Yes, absolutely, Jasmine. And I will say I did not actually do a current event on your recommendation. I couldn't find enough information to tap into on it. So I think that's something that we'll have to dive into later on. But you can absolutely access my current event readings on my OnlyFans page. The link is in the description of not only this reading once it uploads, but also in the several readings since I've started my OnlyFans in December. So you can click on any of the weekly readings of the past from between December and now, and you'll see the OnlyFans link in the description. Once you click on that, it will ask you to start an OnlyFans account so that you can actually interact with me on OnlyFans as well. It's kind of like a social media platform. And it'll also ask you for a card or payment information. Doesn't mean they're going to charge you. That is only if you decide to purchase a post, because on OnlyFans, people have the option of pricing out their posts for people to tap into. Most of my posts are free, and if they're not free, they're always under $10 most of the time, and I haven't posted anything so far that was over $10. And most of the time, those little current event readings and small readings are only like $3 to $5. So, but like I said, most of them are already free, so you can just go on there and enjoy that. I'm pretty sure I made the current events one a slight price, but that was only because it was after the 24-hour mark. So oftentimes when I post, I'll post something free for 24 hours and then I might price it out, or I'll just keep it free for like the whole time, which a lot of things are free on there. So definitely check that out. You can access the current events on there. Last week I did do my first current event reading, and I talked about the powers that be and the negative ETs. And we also talked about cryptocurrency being dirty money and what that really means and if it really is dirty money. And so that is a really powerful current event reading. I'm going to be doing them every other week, which means that I'll be doing them again in like a week or two. All right, so you can check my posts and you'll know when I'll be posting those, because I always show up and let you know on my OnlyFans as well. Thanks for that question, Jasmine. I appreciate it. Perfect, you're already subscribed, so you should be able to see the current event reading on my post on my page. Just scroll through and you'll see it. All right, my dears, so let's go ahead and jump into our spirit messages of this week. These are all the intuitive messages that I received from my downloads, meditations, connections with my guides, and the way I read the mass collective energy. And the first card, which is also such a theme that we've had all month for May, is, or I shouldn't say the first card, but it is kind of the first card, because the month of May's card was the Matrix. And this first spirit message is all about the Matrix, okay? And we are in the ending times of the Matrix. We are in the ending days, the last days of the Matrix. And the last days are really going to be the last years. It's going to be like a 10-year stretch, 8 to 10-year stretch of this crumbling of the Matrix. Okay, so this is going to take a little time, but it is something to really pay attention to. And it's important for us all to focus on what it looks like when the Matrix ends. What is our ideal experience or our ideal Earth experience outside of the Matrix? If we could let the Matrix go, crumble it, and clear it away, what kind of life would we want to live? What would be left for us to experience? Love unconditionally, compassion unconditionally, magic and miracles, 5D experience, our intuitive gifts completely turned on and activated, our ability to access universal consciousness whenever we want, our ability to be telepathic with each other and to maybe even do cool things like telekinesis and teleportation, right? There's so many things that we could imagine the matrix could be once we release our anchors into it, once we're no longer held in that heavier, denser vibration and we move into more of a fifth dimensional realm, okay? And so our guides are encouraging us to envision what the ending of the matrix looks like and what is the result of that. What is the 5D reality in your mind look like? What is your ideal envisioned 5D reality? And start becoming it, okay? Because as we start to envision what that 5D reality looks like, we start to recognize what we need to do to get closer to it and where we're not merged with it and where we're not in harmony with it so that we can become in harmony with it. Because we are literally creating the new earth. We are doing it with our own dreams, our own aspirations, our own goals, our own visions for the future in a positive and beautiful way with pure intention and connection to our heart. And that is how it becomes what it is. It takes our thoughts, it takes our belief, it takes our emotional value, and it puts it all together and creates the vision into the future, into the physical, okay? And a lot of us, we can trace back the histories of time and see how the mass collective's thoughts and emotions and behaviors manifested this matrix reality, right? We can go back to eons of time and see how the progression manifested the reality we're in now. And it's because the mass collective jumped into a similar synchronistic flow of manifestation. And we have the power to do that as well. And if you haven't noticed already, spiritualists and people who are conscious and aware and awoken are becoming more of the majority, which means that we are quickly creating that manifestation through our thoughts, our belief, and our emotions. And the more that we can envision it, the more we can create it, okay? That is how we kind of rise above the strife of feeling the anchors that we are attached to the matrix being ripped from us and the characteristics that we have to purge or the energies we have to purge to be less aligned with the matrix and more 5D. You know, that takes a lot of discipline, and it's been a strife experience. It's been difficult. It's been a little sludgy. It's been hard to do, right? It's been a lot of purging and transformation and finding radical faith and being present. And that is hard, but the result of that hardship is the manifestation. And this is the disciplined practice of manifestation by still showing up in the vibration of love, even when you don't want to, even when it's uncomfortable, even when you're scared, or even when you don't know what to do next or what's next, right? It's being that disciplined in our vibration so that we can manifest what we want instead of sitting and sulking in what we don't want vibrationally, right? So that's a big one. So feel into what the new earth looks like for you and start meditating on it, start journaling about it, start envisioning it regularly, if especially you're getting frustrated with the current times. Take yourself out of that awareness because that is not reality. When we're in manifestation process, we have to accept that the present moment is not what we're creating. It's the next moment that we're creating. So if we're in the present moment unhappy with what is there, we have to realize that we already created that. We're already in that experience. And it was created a few days ago or a few weeks ago when we had that vibration that this reality is in. But now we get to look to the future by imagining the vibration we want to be in and recognizing that whatever we're experiencing right now is not the same as that. And we don't have to put any more energy into that because that is not where we can change creation. We can only change creation when we focus on what's next. Okay. And of course, being present is part of it, because if you're not present and realizing what you don't appreciate or don't like about the present moment, you won't be able to create something new for your next move, right? Your next energy. Let me know if this is making sense. This is so important for everybody to understand, okay? And make sure you're sending these readings to people, because I really, really, really feel so called to make sure everybody that can know about this stuff and who is open to it knows about it. because this is life-changing information and life-changing spiritual content that is going to really allow people to start to move out of their stuck and sulky kind of heavy energies and start to realize their power, their magic, and their ability to create something different. This is the energy that changes lives, okay? So we really got to get people to see this, because so many people are hurting right now and they don't know that they have this answer. They don't know that they can do something about it. And it's so important that they know that. Next spirit message is, what are your relationships saying about you? What are they telling you about yourself? What are the patterns that you see? Are they balanced? How are other people's perspectives kind of lining up similarly, and other people's interactions with you lining up similarly to show you patterns, synchronicities, and things that maybe you can work on better, or things that you can amplify more to continue progress, right? Your relationships are mirrors for your own experience. So if you're feeling insecure in your relationships, it's because you're insecure within yourself, and there's something deeply rooted in that, right, that you need to work on internally. If you're feeling like, you're not being seen or heard or loved fully, then you're probably not seeing, hearing, or loving yourself fully either, right? There may be some of that on the outside of you, of course, but there's still a lot of that in the rooted experience within you. And so that's why those relationships shine those experiences and project those experiences onto you, because they want you to see how you're also mirroring it, so you can get out of it, so you can be free. So what are the patterns, and are they balanced? Are your relationships balanced? Is the give and take balanced? Is the love balanced? Is the peace balanced? Is the masculine and feminine balanced? Is the respect balanced? Is it mutual, right? Ask yourself that and find out why it's not, if it isn't, and start to do the work to balance it. Because as you do the work to balance those things, you're also doing the work to balance yourself through working through it and facing it head on. I've had to do a lot of this week, and I've been feeling like this is something that so many people are being faced with. I've had a lot of conversations with other spiritualists and about a lot of my community, and they're feeling the same. So I know all of you are probably feeling this too, and you're probably wondering, why are my family relationships or my friendships or my work relationships starting to feel this way? Why do all these relationships are starting to feel a little different or a little odd, or pointing out things that I never realized before? It's because there's lessons there. It's because there's spiritual information there. So take some time to really sift through it, reflect on it, and try to ask yourself, what are these things telling me about me, right? What are these common traits or common experiences telling me about myself, right? And that's how we remove the blocks of our energy in our connections with others and in our connection with ourselves. And of course, we're in Gemini season, so we are really in that vibration of connection and communication, not just with other people and ourselves, but also with spirit. So this is a perfect time to work those things out. Now, in response to that, and in a kind of segue to that, it's a hermit mode type of week, okay? For those of you who know my hermit mode kind of explanations, we kind of go into these hermit modes regularly with these readings, because that's part of the expansion and constriction of nature, of creation, right? Everything is going to expand and constrict, just like breathing, right? And it's so important to realize that, just like the sun and the moon, day and night, right? And so it's important to go within, meaning meditate, meaning take some quiet time for yourself, meaning let yourself just listen to your thoughts for a little while and notice what's showing up there that feels good or doesn't, and what patterns are there, and observe them, review them, realign with what feels good, and let go of what doesn't. This is part of the benefits and the magic of hermit mode. And it is what creates more clarity. It allows us to sift through all of the debris and really pull out what's most important to see and what's most important to know, and thus what's most important to act on and embody. So if you're feeling confused or needing clarity, go into hermit mode, go within, do some journaling, meditation, yoga, listen to your thoughts, take some time for yourself, and really get clear on what is there within you that you need to sift through, or kind of accept, or heal, or release, right? Or talk through with someone, because these experiences are showing up right now because we're graduating. because we're graduating into a new level of experience, a new level of our evolution, a new level of our intuition, a new level of our conscious vibration, our higher vibration, a new level of success and blessings, and also a new level of hardship, because as much as we would love for the blessings to just always be there without any kind of need to earn them, it's not realistic. We have to earn our blessings. We have to show that we're committed, that we're disciplined, that we're believing in that positive manifestation, and then we get the blessings. Okay, so when blessings, get more intense and amplified, so does the strife sometimes. And that's really just to strengthen the muscles we need to keep that abundance going, because we're in a new level, right? If we were gladiators, right, the first round might be a lot of, fighters that aren't really that strong or that aren't really that skilled. But if you make it to the next round, right, fighting those fighters gets you more skilled, more better. And then the next round, you're in another realm with even harder challenges, right? But as you work through it, you become even stronger, even more resilient, even more brave, even more courageous. So that's really what we're in. We're becoming the gladiators, the spiritual gladiators of this world. And as we elevate in that strength and warrior-like spirit, we are also going to be met with more challenges, because we can meet them, because we can overcome them, and because we have to in order to show up for the mass collective, especially for those who can't do that, right? So we should be grateful that we have the strength and resilience to fight that fight. Now, it's also important to lighten the load. I'm going to keep using this kind of warrior type of analogy because it's really important, because we are light warriors. We are spiritual warriors, and this is a warrior world, okay? And you'll hear a song about that on my new album, which drops literally next Sunday, you guys, on all streaming services: Spotify, iTunes, Tidal, Apple Play, Google Play, Apple Music. All of the streaming services will have my album released on June 6th, next Sunday. Okay, so make sure to go ahead and pre-order it and pre-save it. I think you can do so on Spotify and Apple iTunes right now. That will be really helpful for me too, because those stats show up and kind of highlight in my artist pages to get more people to listen. So that's awesome. But yeah, warrior world, okay, that's what we're in, and that's why this analogy is so powerful. And the next message is about lightening the load. If you think about a warrior going into battle, oftentimes you don't see them with big backpacks on, right? They're not carrying big backpacks or like huge bags of like stuff. They don't have their families with them, right? They're not trying to bring everything in their life with them into the fight. That's not what it's meant to be. The fight is where we need to lighten the load. When we're in that strife experience, when we're really battling negative energies or shadow aspects of ourselves or inner child wounds or relationship troubles, and we're trying to stay in the highest vibration and be the warrior of light that we are, we can't hold on to a ton of baggage, a ton of trauma, a ton of pain, a ton of grief, a ton of hopelessness, a ton of frustration, right? Because that's going to cloud our vision. It's going to weight us down, and it's not going to allow us to fight the way we're meant to fight. So we have to lighten the load. That means letting go of the stuff that is plaguing you and making you feel heavy or incapable of showing up in that fighter energy, in that resilient energy, in that positively motivated and determined energy for that pure intention that you have. So how can you lighten your load? Are you needing to put up some boundaries with some people to lighten the load of carrying on their problems or carrying on their energy, right? Are you needing to release some of those inner child wounds or some of those trauma experiences or some of the perspectives or the kind of stories that you've told yourself about those things that keep them in your experience, right? Are you ready to purge the emotions that have been stuck and trapped down deep in your body that you haven't let up and let out, right? Are you ready to do that, to lighten the load so you can be the warrior of light that you're meant to be, so you can activate your light body in the highest regard? We can't let the light in when we have all this pain and heaviness still there. We've got to get all that out so that we can actually let more things in, which is light, right? So we've got to purge, we've got to let it go. I am still doing the discount on the Letting Go workshop. Instead of the $333 price for the 3-day workshop, it's only $222, and it is a completely virtual workshop. It is all pre-recorded with videos, meditations, journal prompts, and a whole lecture, a couple lectures actually, about the importance and the experience and process of letting go, where I teach you exactly how to let go, whatever it is you need. And that's something you get to keep for life, okay? So $222 to keep that letting go workshop for life, which means that anytime you meet some other experience that you know you need to let go of, or another energy you know you need to let go of, you can use that letting go workshop, okay? So if you're interested in that, I really want to offer it for that $100 off. It's actually $111 off, 111 off. So instead of $333, it's only $222. And in order to sign up for that workshop, or just to receive it, because it literally is just a link I send to you, and then you have it forever and you get to download it and do it whenever you want, as many times as you want, just send me an email, readingsbyrissa@gmail.com, and say, hey, I want the Letting Go workshop. How do I sign up? How do I get it? And I'll send you the invoice, and I'll send you the link, and boom, you can have that today and be working on it with this long weekend, right, of letting go, okay? It's that important. That's why I wanted to give it to you as a discount, because it's so important to let go of the baggage so that you can really move forward and be light and free and gain all the things you're meant to gain in that energy. So in all of this regard, next message is that this is a time that you get to learn more about yourself than you ever have before. This is a time where you have the opportunity to study yourself deeper than you've ever studied yourself. You have the opportunity to observe yourself in experiences that you've never maybe observed yourself in, or never took the time or had the consciousness to observe yourself in this way. And this is a great experience. It can be sometimes frustrating to see the fullness of you that you haven't seen all the way, or maybe it shows you something you didn't know about yourself, and you see something you didn't really like about yourself. But isn't it great to be able to see that so you can change it? Because what if you never would have seen that? What if you never would have had the opportunity, and you just kept kind of expressing that energy, and other people saw it, but you never saw it, and you just went completely, blind to it all your life? So don't get down on yourself when you start to see more about yourself or learn more about yourself, especially if there are things that you don't really appreciate or like about yourself. Just note that that's part of the shadow work, and acceptance and unconditional love, and the ability to change and maneuver and be disciplined to create a new experience or a new energy for yourself is absolutely possible and absolutely important for you. Now, with that being said, make sure you also take the time to appreciate all the new things you're learning about yourself that you love and that you enjoy and that you want to support and nurture and feed and amplify. Right? Maybe you start to realize how great you are at holding space for other people. Maybe you start to realize how awesome you are at taming your triggers and still showing up in the love vibration. Maybe you start to realize how amazing you are at your intuition. And this is exciting, right? So allow yourself to really study yourself, see how you're moving in this world, honor that, appreciate that, and do what you need to do to fine tune it for the most success this week. Because we have a lot of energy in the astrological influences that is going to help us with that as well. Next message, what are you asking for? What miracles are you asking for? This is something that also is super important. As we go through strife, challenges, and shadow work, and inner child healing and all of that stuff, we also are opening and creating more space for the miracles. When we let stuff go, all that stuff that's heavy, then we have more space for the light in our body, and thus more space for miracles to be manifested. So we have to actually ask for things. If we don't ask for what we want, or we don't think about the miracles that we need in our life, and we don't believe that they can happen, or ask our higher self, our higher power, our inner being to help support that energy to come through, then we end up missing out that opportunity to actually manifest it. And this is really the other side of the blood moon experience, right? We had such a crazy, intense energy with that moon, and it really kind of shook a lot of us up. But it shook us up for the purpose of facing what we need to face, moving through the challenges we need to move through, releasing the things we need to really let go of, and then allowing ourselves to finally get to this place of abundance and prosperity and success and reward for what we've earned. The blood, sweat, and tears we put into our work to make ourselves the best selves that we can be. we are going to receive the blessings for very, very soon. So make sure you're asking for what you want, and you're writing down the goals you have. You're writing down the types of prosperity and abundance you want to come your way. And you're really meditating on it and believing it and opening your heart to receive it by breathing into it and allowing yourself to just accept that it is possible and that it will happen. And that's how we really make it happen. Okay. Now, last thing about this is the importance of recognizing the matrix again. These are the end times of the matrix. These are the end days of the matrix, the end years of the matrix, right? And we're seeing it so much. There was a Toltec Prophecy that my lovely friend Lily from Celestial Groove Collection, and also the Quantum Guide, she does amazing QHT sessions. I'll definitely be doing some kind of collab with her soon so I can show you what she does. I think I might be posting one of my QHT sessions up here for you all to kind of be nosy and check out what she does, because it's just so amazing. But she was talking about how the Toltec Prophecy from the ancient Mayans came up in one of her sessions, and somebody was talking about, their subconscious while they were under hypnotherapy, was talking about the Toltec Prophecy, which was the moon, the blood moon last Wednesday, where the Mayans predicted that we were moving from the 5th sun to the 6th sun during that moon last week. And so we're feeling the shift, right? And part of that is also recognizing, okay, we're moving to a different sun, meaning we're moving to a different earth, right? And we've been talking about how one world is becoming two. We've been talking about that since I think November, or even earlier maybe, in these readings. And so, we're recognizing that the world is shifting, that we are moving into the new earth. We are moving into the 5D. Doesn't mean we're actually going to physically move to another planet. It means that the earth in itself is changing as we know it, and that it's being reborn into something new that we've never seen before, and that we are being reborn with it. Okay. And so it's important to recognize that we are in this world, this 3D matrix, this third dimensional reality, but we are not of this world, okay? And as we continue to move through our experience into the 5D, and we let go of the matrix and we allow the matrix to crumble and wither away, we start to realize we are not of the world. Because if we were of the world, we'd be withering away with the matrix, but we're not. We may be in the matrix, but we're not of it. We get to move outside of that experience, and we don't have to crumble away with that matrix. We get to elevate, graduate into our new earth experience, into the initiations we've received from the blood moon, into our new realities. And what it's going to look like is it's going to be very interesting. It's going to feel like, especially once you've made an energetic decision to let certain things go, whether it's lower vibrational relationships or people or experiences or actions, you're going to start to realize, once you change that vibration, you let it go and you become the new vibration that is peaceful and fine without that stuff, you're going to realize you can't even go back to that stuff. You might try to talk to that friend again just to see how they're doing, and it might feel incredibly repelling energetically, like it's just not the right move energetically, right? Maybe you'll try to go back to those old habits or old patterns, and it'll just feel so not like you. You won't even know how to do them anymore. That's what I mean when we are talking about moving into a new earth experience. It's going to be through those subtle things where we're going to be like, wow, like I can't even be around that person anymore. I can't even try to. I can't even do that thing anymore. I can't even try to. I can't even eat that kind of food anymore. I literally don't even know how to let myself do that, right? Because we're then in the new world. We're in the new vibration, a new earth, a new life experience, a graduated experience as we know it, okay? So we are separating ourselves from that which is not of the light. And as a result, we are becoming more light and thus less capable of interacting with anything different. And the changes that we're going through are necessary to allow for that transformation and graduation. And as we change the way we think about things in a lower vibrational way, we thus change the way we feel about things in a lower vibrational way, which then changes the way we behave and manifest things in a lower vibrational way, so that we end up just manifesting, feeling, thinking, and experiencing higher vibration. Okay, does that make sense, everyone? Isn't this such an exciting time to be alive? We all came here with soul contracts and a choice to be the light workers that we are and be the conscious beings that we are, to move through this intense transformation. Like, how cool is that? Like, we get to be here at one of the most prophetic and transmuting and epic, accelerated times in maybe history, human history as a whole. Like, it's insane how cool this is, and we chose to come here. So be grateful, right? Even though it's hard, even though it sucks sometimes, even though it can be so frustrating to see the matrix, capitalism, government, oppression, just being so solid and manifested here in this world, don't worry about it, because that's this world. We're not in this, we're not of this world, we're just in it, and we're not going to be in it for too much longer if we can keep focusing on the new world we're creating. Okay, so do that. Keep envisioning what you want, keep envisioning the energy you want to experience, keep envisioning yourself in that energy, and as you do, things will really, really blossom. All right, everybody, let's get into the astrology. I just want to check and see how you're all doing. Ooh, Melissa Era Smith says, holding space, sending so much love. Cape Town, South Africa, or Cape Town, maybe South Africa. Wow, so cool, South Africa. Thank you. Thank you, Melissa, for joining from all the way over there. So good to see you all. Let's see, June 6th, I'm super happy for you. Oh, thank you so much, love. I'm super excited as well. And hey, Nico, I'm so glad to see you as well. So glad these are all resonating, these messages. So let's go ahead and finish out with astrology and then see what the cards have to say to sum all this up. All right, so astrologically, we just got over that blood moon, so we're integrating that blood moon this week. So anything you experienced last week with the blood moon, you're going to keep kind of processing through and finding peace with this week and finding clarity with this week. So don't get too upset if you're not clear all the way yet. Give yourself this week to integrate so that you can really find that clarity you need. Now, we have the Mars in Cancer, which is today, trining Neptune in Pisces, which is going to be really mystical energy. The Mars in Cancer kind of helps us to act on our sentiments, act on our sensitivities energetically and spiritually. And that's trining with Neptune, which is dreamy, and Pisces, which is also very dreamy. So we're activating this dreamy kind of etheric energy with our emotions and our sensitivities to our empathic nature and our ability to act on those sensitivities to create mystical experiences and magical synchronicities. Okay, so it's a really good energy today. We can definitely use that for intuitive services, pull some cards for yourself, meditate, act on the things that you feel energetically so that you can really amplify more of that sensitivity. And then on June 2nd, we have Venus entering Cancer, and that is going to be a very sentimental energy as well. I have a Cancer moon, so I don't think that's going to be great for me because I tend to be really sensitive emotionally in romance. I take things personally in romance. And so Venus entering Cancer, Venus being the planet of beauty, love, romance, and pleasure, entering that kind of Cancer, sensitive, sentimental energy, may be a little difficult for those of you who are Cancer moons or water signs. Moon, if your moon energy is a water sign, may feel a little overly emotional or kind of hard to not take things too personally. So be aware of that. But if you don't have that kind of influence in your moon chart or your moon sign, you will most likely feel more of the sentiment and more of the kind of deep sensitivity to the beauty of things, or the just the way things are so meaningful. Okay. Then June 3rd, Venus in Cancer trines Jupiter in Pisces, which then activates more romance and an elevation of bliss and pleasure and beauty. So even if you feel a little bit in your feels on June 2nd when Venus enters Cancer, most of us will then feel a lot better the next day when it trines Jupiter in Pisces, because Jupiter is going to give you more abundance, more blessings, more joy, to help you feel a little bit more of the positive sides of that astrological influence. So you'll feel more romantic. You'll feel a little bit more focused on pleasure and not on pain. You'll feel kind of sensitive to bliss and excitement and romance. And then on June 5th, we have Mercury in Gemini, square Neptune in Pisces. And that's going to be really interesting because we do have our Mercury retrograde right now in Gemini. It just started yesterday. So shout out to all of you who had some crazy conversations or communication issues yesterday. Me. But That was me. But that was that was Mercury retrograde in Gemini, which I knew it was going to affect me because I'm a Gemini. It's just like, but yeah, so that Mercury in Gemini is really affecting us because it is a Mercury retrograde in Gemini. And so then we've got the square. The square is healing for us, and it's squaring the Neptune and Pisces energy. So actually, this can be okay because this Mercury retrograde energy in Gemini can maybe have us questioning the way we communicate, or maybe having us feel misunderstood, or even overexpressive or just imbalanced in our communication. But as we square Neptune and Pisces, it's actually going to bring us more into our intuitive communication so that we can find clarity. So it's going to be important on June 5th to work through any communication issues or even any imbalances overall by tapping into your intuition, by asking spirit, by pulling cards, by meditating, by maybe going to an intuitive reader, because that's how you're going to kind of amplify more of the dreamy, positive aspects of communication that may give you the clarity you need. And then Mars is in Cancer that day, opposite Pluto in Capricorn, which is going to also be interesting. Mars being in Cancer means that we're then going to start acting on more of our sentiment, really creating action around it and passion around it so that we can really find closure and structure in the things we need that we've been dealing with or struggling with recently. Okay, so that'll be an interesting astrological influence as well. So take it easy on June 5th and do a lot of digging on what you're feeling so you can get to the bottom of things in a very healed and intuitive way. All right? Boom. Now, before I pull cards, or as I pull cards, I should say, I'm going to do another shameless plug of my album, because Hippie Vixen, my new album, by Rissa Vibes, is going to be hitting all streaming platforms on Sunday, June 6th. It's going to be hitting streams at midnight on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Tidal, all the streaming services, really any streaming services that you use to listen to music, that album's going to be on there. And what I need you all to do, because I really need your help, is I would really, really appreciate it so much if you could download the album wherever you stream from. Like it if you can like it on that streaming platform. Add it to a playlist of your liking, or a couple songs to your favorite playlists. Share it with other people. Review the album if there's an opportunity on the streaming service to talk about, how much you love the album. Do that. Just plug into it in any way you can, because I'm really, 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 really motivated. My guides have been so on me about making sure I put this album out there in a big way and get it to as many people as possible, because there is some serious transmuting cosmic light and vibration in this album that is going to really heal a lot of hearts and mend a lot of soul wounds. Okay, so please do me the solid, and do yourself the solid of downloading the album and pre-ordering it if you can right now, because I believe it's available for pre-order and pre-save on Spotify and iTunes, which means you can literally get on Spotify or iTunes right now, type in Hippie Vixen by Rissa Vibes, and you should see it available for pre-order, so that you can go ahead and order it right now, and then as soon as it drops, you've already got it. And that also helps my stats on all those matrix type of streaming services and tracking the numbers and the streams and the downloads and all that. It really does help get the album out there, because then Spotify will say, oh, wow, all these people downloaded the album. All these people added it to the playlist of theirs. This is a popular album. Let's go ahead and put it on a mainstream playlist. Let's go ahead and put it on, another artist radio that's a big artist. And that's how we get it to a bunch of people, okay? This is not about me. This is about the message and the energy of the music, because the energy of the music is powerful, all right? And it's been healing me and a lot of my friends. So I know it's going to be healing a lot of other people, and I really want it to do its job, because people need healing right now so much, so much. So we got to do our part to allow that. All right, everybody. So last thing I'll mention about my birthday is, if you are an OnlyFans subscriber, I have also recently done something a little bit awkward for me. I don't usually do this, but Spirit is really forcing me into receiving abundance and love and opening up to that. And so I just put my Amazon wish list on my OnlyFans as well, which I think is a cool feature. So any OnlyFans subscribers can also go check out my Amazon wish list. If you want to send me a little gift or something, you can do so, which is pretty cool. So check that out as well. All right, loves, let's go ahead and see what the cards have for us. I'm so excited. First card, Grizzly Bear. Power. Look at that grizzly bear. Look at that poor little fish in its mouth. Aw, poor fishy. But the grizzly bear is so powerful, so powerful. And the card itself says, I am indestructible. Think about that. What would it feel like for you right now to feel indestructible? Take a couple breaths. Maybe you've been feeling triggered. Maybe you've been feeling wounded. Maybe you've been feeling attacked. Maybe you've been feeling vulnerable. Take a moment to feel indestructible, because you are. It also says, I honor my intuition and go where it leads me. Why? Because intuition is our most innate survival skill. It is our superpower. And it says, love and gentleness are my real strength. I never give up. I will succeed. Okay, that's the energy for the beginning of the week. That's the energy of moving through the strife so you can get to the blessings, of doing the work so you can get to the light body, of standing your ground so that you can feel the benefit of your empowerment and your power, right? So beautiful. Next card, the Judgment. This is huge, everybody. This is huge. We are one world becoming two. And how do we become two? How do we filter? How do we move into another world? We do it through the judgment of souls, of hearts, the purity of a heart, the purity of an intention, the purity of a vibration, the resonance of a vibration. This is the Judgment is a different card than what we talked about before, where we don't want to judge others. Of course, we don't want to judge others. We want to come in unconditional love, especially even if people are judging us. But the Judgment card is more so talking about weighing the hearts of those who deserve to go to the 5D and who are ready for the 5D because they've done the work, and those who aren't. Okay? And that judgment is upon us right now. We're seeing how a lot of people in our experience who have maybe really been drawn to the matrix or been really anchored in the matrix or anchored in low vibration are taking a full turn into a deep dive into that energy. They're not coming back up to the surface or coming out of the matrix. They're going deeper into it, right? And then on the other side, we see a lot of us light workers choosing to move deeper into the 5D unapologetically in an extreme way, in a way that maybe people don't even understand who are in the matrix, but who people that are do understand, right? And then we also have some people in the middle, some bridge walkers, okay? Bridge walkers can be a great thing. Sometimes people have to be that bridge walker to help pull other people to the other side. But if you're a bridge walker because you're not making a decision on what you want and what you really want to entertain in your life, then it's going to be a really chaotic experience, because you're going to be getting some temptations of the 5D and some temptations of the 3D, and you're going to be feeling the contrast of both experienced within you, which is going to just cause a lot of chaos. And that's what I was talking about last week with the violence and the people losing their minds and feeling just completely unlike themselves and acting unlike themselves. So this is where we're at. We're in the Judgment days. We're seeing the filtration process happen as one world becomes two. And I encourage you to focus in and reflect with this card in the middle of the week on where you lie on that spectrum and what you can do to choose which world you want to be in. Last card, boom. We just talked about this a little bit. Stand your ground, end of the week card, okay? End of the week card, stand your ground. This is you standing solid and strong in the choice you make. If you decide to stand in the matrix, fine, but stand your ground there. Because if you don't and you have an unstable vibration, it's not going to be good. And same thing for 5D. If you want to be in the new earth and you're ready to be in that new earth 5D experience, stand your ground in that vibration, which means show up with the 5D energy of unconditional love, compassion, no matter what. Even if somebody screams in your face, even if somebody calls you horrible names, even if somebody tells you you can't do shit, right? Or that you have no idea what you're doing. Or even if you lose all of the things you love in your life, your car, your home, your job, Still stand in the vibration of love, radical faith, and compassion if you want to stand in that 5D world. Because a lot of times we can be losing all those things because they're of the matrix, and it's actually that perfect moment where we're about to step fully into the 5D, but we can screw it all up by getting all upset about losing all these things in the matrix when really that's what we asked for. And not trusting that what's in the 5D is better. So stand your ground because it will be worth it. It says standing your ground is an empowering, confidence-building action to take you from time to time. Now is the moment when you need to stand your ground. You know you can do it. And you know that by doing so, you will be the victor of the blessings and abundance that you want to receive if you just do the work, even though it's so hard to stand in love when you're feeling angry or upset or triggered. But do it because it's worth it. And it will get you to the 5D, and it will get you into those blessings and abundance. I just saw Jasmine wants to know, how do you spell hippie? You did it. You spelled it right. Hippie. Vixen is the second word, Vixen. Hippie vixen. I'll put it in here right now so that everybody has it. Hippie vixen by Rissa Vibes. Boop, boop, boop. Go ahead and go pre-save, pre-order, download once it drops on midnight, June 6th, which means it'll really be out as soon as 12:01 hits that night of June 5th. So please, please do it. I am really, really asking you all to be my launch team, my virtual street team that goes out and like posts the stickers like download Hippie Vixen, download this album. It's going to change your life, right? I'm really, really, really depending on all of you to be that for me because I don't have a team. I don't have a huge team. I'm not like, a huge celebrity. Like I don't have that. I am just me doing all this on my own with my buddy Nico, my brother who takes my photos, and just a bunch of friends who support, and all of you. So I need your help to get this album out. I really do. It would be the best present ever for me to receive. So please, please, please send it to people. Ask people who you know are music buffs that love music to pre-save it and pre-order it now. Tell people about it every chance you get. Play it at your local functions and at your summertime parties and gatherings once it's out. And show me you vibing out to it on your Instagram stories so I can post that too, because I love that. Please, 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 I need your help, okay? I really do. I would not be asking like this if I didn't. I am not the type of person to ask for help often, but Spirit is forcing me to because it's that important. The album is that important. The music is that important. The message is that important. The frequency is that important, okay? I love all you so much. I'm so grateful for all of you. Let's go, Vibers. Yeah! Launch team assemble for Hippie Vixen, okay? And keep on the path. Keep standing strong, keep transmuting the energies, keep integrating the energy of the blood moon, and please reach out to me if you need anything at all, okay? Also, another benefit of downloading and pre-saving the album, if you go ahead and pre-order or pre-save on any of your streaming services right now, take a screenshot of that pre-save and send it to me via DM on Instagram at Readings by Rissa, or send me a text if you have my number and a picture of it, or send me an email, readingsbyrissa@gmail.com, and I'll give you $22 off your next reading. I will do that. But you only have a week to do it because once the album's out, you can't pre-save it or pre-order it. So between now and Sunday, if you have Apple iTunes or Spotify, I think Spotify also has the pre-save option right now, go ahead and pre-save and pre-order, take a screenshot, send it to me, and I'll give you $22 off your next reading. That's how serious I am, all right? I love you so much. Don't forget about that 222 deal on the Letting Go workshop as well, that virtual 3-day workshop to let go of anything that's not serving you. Email me for that if you need it. And other than that, I'll see you next week for my birthday. And I will say, I'm going to just tell you straight up, it's going to be a pre-recorded reading, but I will be just as happy and excited about my birthday as if I was live, okay? Because on Sunday, I'm actually going to be at Six Flags for my birthday with my buddy Nico because he's coming into town. So make sure you check out my story on Instagram because I know I'll be posting tons about that on that day as well. So I will see you in a pre-recorded reading next Sunday for my birthday, and then I'll be back live the Sunday after. All right? I love you so much. Thanks again for joining. Make sure to send this reading to anybody who you know will vibe to it. Make sure to subscribe to my OnlyFans, like and subscribe this video. Make sure you're subscribed to this YouTube channel. Make sure you download that album when it drops. Make sure you pre-save the album now. All the things, okay? I love you so much. Thank you so much for the happy early birthdays, and I will see you very, very soon. Peace.